YouTube people and people that come to my Facebook page. How you doing? How's everything going? So, as you've seen the title of this video, I'm going to talk to you about self-publishing. I believe I talked about this on this channel before, but pretty much self-publishing, people are wondering, there's a lot of beefs that happen, you get, some of y'all may not even get these references, so don't even worry about it, but I remember big ones like Jay-Z versus Nas, you got 50 Cent versus Gang, Marvel versus Capcom, whichever one. But the biggest one in the literary world is traditional versus self-publishing. So we're going to kind of get into that one. The other ones, I know those references are all over the place, but so pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about traditional publishing and let's see, what try to pull up traditional publishing. So yeah, if you're a writer, and also definitely support this. Definitely please support the videos. I'm definitely going to be try to put out some on my Facebook page. I'm going to put some out every day. I'm going to try to put out videos weekly on Facebook as well too. There's a lot of gaming on my video too. If you're into gaming, if you're into JRPGs, check those out. I'm a huge fan of those. If the channel gets bigger. Once the channel gets bigger, I want to kind of expand out and do other titles too. Possibly, I'll probably put up selections of games that you guys want to see or whatever, or just writing topics. Anything related to writing that you want to talk about. So either way, I have a passion for both writing and gaming. So. My big dream is to become a writer, so become a successful writer. Just as everyone who's watching this video, you're watching this video too because maybe you don't know anything about writing and you want to become a successful writer. So you definitely do that as well too. So let me kind of go ahead and get into. So I'm going to do. So first, I'm going to start out with self-publishing. And then tomorrow I will have the traditional publishing video out. So you'll kind of see the pros and cons to both of them. And you'll kind of weigh your options. Say you have that book finished, and you want to get it out there to people. And you're like, man, I don't know if I should go with a traditional publisher or should I just publish it myself. So let's weigh those options, man. Let's talk about self-publishing first, because I kind of want to go into, again, self-publishing, because that's something I started doing. I'm definitely an indie published author myself. Not as big on sales. I'm trying to get my sales up, man. I haven't really sold that many books yet. I'm going to be honest, my marketing pitch is garbage. I'm not a very good marketing person, but doing my research and everything to try to get better. So without further ado, without further delay, let's start the video. So let's go ahead and say, what, baby? I'm sorry, 2-year-old granddaughter. Hold on a second. Shaw, you know what she wants? Okay. Say, why don't you go in there and, okay. Because I know you want to go in there to your mommy. Why don't you watch your show? Yeah, I think that's what she's crying. Zay, why don't you come in here and watch your show, baby, until your mommy's done changing her clothes. So, I'm sorry, everybody. Go ahead and pull up that information here. So, first of all, the first thing is you don't have to wait for permission. Now, I know a lot of people when they look at that, um, what I mean by this is when you go through a traditional publishing company, sometimes it takes forever. And I want people to know this is a really unbiased. This is just fact that I've gathered from different sources. But so that first one is you don't have to wait for permission. What I mean by waiting for permission is you don't have to when you finish the book, um, you can release it immediately. You don't even have to edit it. I really hope people are editing their books. Like, please edit your books because your audience will catch that. But that's for another video. But so when you are finished with a book, when your book is done, you don't have to wait for anyone's okay. You are your own boss. So you can actually, so once you're done with your book, you can publish it and you can put it out there. And there's multiple ways to do it too. That'll be another video I put up. There's self-publishing companies. There's aggregate publishers like Lulu. You can actually go to Barnes & Noble's website. Barnes & Noble's has a free, Lulu's free also. That's where I publish all my books through. But Barnes & Noble's also has a free thing on their website where you can actually publish their books. And they have an incentive where if you sell at least 1,000 books, they'll let you sell your books inside their bookstores, because 1,000 copies is pretty good actually. That's a really good start. That means people are really buying your book. So that's the thing with not being able to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for the upper guys to tell you that your books are good enough to be published. You can just publish it yourself. Bye, baby. Oh, she wants to get in the video. So, all right, so go, baby. So that is definitely one way of doing it. So that's one, is you don't have to wait for permission.
What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Hello? Okay, stop. Okay, stop. No. Stop. No. Stop. Okay, you know what? I'm getting out of here. Okay, you know what? I'm getting out of here.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm just reading something up on something here. I didn't know that. So apparently J.K. Rowling, her Harry Potter series got rejected by 12 publishers in a row. And the only reason why it was even picked up by a publisher was because the editor of the company, their 8-year-old daughter, wanted to actually read it. Demanded the editor to read the rest of the book. And they told her to quit her. She needs to get a day job, and she had little chance in publishing books. And look at her now; she's like a billionaire. So, but that's a little side note. So that's the first one. Yeah, and that's another one. So number 2 is you can get your work out quickly. So this deals with the first point, that you don't have to go through the higher ups to get your book published. You could just go ahead and publish your book immediately. Usually with like aggregate publishers and stuff like that, when you put your book out there, when you self-publish your book, I think some of my books were published in like a few weeks, like a month, maybe like a few weeks, like a month. So that's way faster than any traditional publishing. Go through a traditional publishing company, and again, I'm not trying to dog either side, but the thing with traditional publishing is when you have to get your rough draft, or you have to get your manuscript. You have to get your manuscript version of your book approved first before anyone even looks at it. And even after it gets approved, it's still subject to be rejected. So definitely check that out. So think about that. I mean, connections. You have to find the right publisher who will publish your stuff, and then you gotta hope that it goes through the final editing or the final submission stages before it can even be considered to be put on shelves. Alright, so that. Alright, so number 3 is the pay. The pay is actually good for self-publishing. Yes, it is. What you do is with self-publishing, you set your price and you get a large percentage of what you make. Whether you go through an aggregate publisher, whether you go through a self-publishing house, it doesn't matter. You make a huge percentage of your books back. You make more back self-publishing per book than if you were to go the traditional route, which I will bring that up as well too. So let's try to keep going through here. So. Because I think, I'll give you an example too, I'm going to just keep running through these. So an example of what I mean by that is, I only priced my book Selena Eden, I priced it at $11.99, and I make about $4.44 per copy. And the reason why is because for every copy that's how much it costs for me to purchase a copy. So you gotta think about that. So for me to purchase a copy, it's $4.44. For the consumer, it's $11.99. So I'm basically making roughly about almost $8. So I'm making almost $8 a copy per sale. You see what I mean? So that's actually really good. So imagine, I sell 1,000 copies, I just make $8,000 off of just 1,000 copies, which is really good. Whereas if you do traditional publishing, you won't make anywhere near that. And like I said, I'll also talk about traditional publishing too, to see. This is just for me to weigh out the pros and cons of everything, so that way you know where you stand at. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other writers have made these videos as well too. So, bring home the passive bacon. Get that passive income. So 4 is you form invaluable connections. So the idea of this one is you meet other people. You meet other You're not the only one out there. You have help. You could bring it in like a. What do they call those? It's like one of those groups. You just bring it in, and you can all talk about being self-published authors. So, what I mean by this is you build connections with people, whether it's social media, the idea, or what I'm doing right here, making a video so you guys can like me and I won't be alone anymore. Basically, what this is you're building connections with people online. You're allowing yourself to get out there, and you're allowing yourself to allow people, to get to know you. And building connections is always good. Usually, a lot of the time when you're at certain things, like when you go to sell books and everything, say if you go to like a book signing, I've actually called up a couple places where I try to do book signings at, and they were like, well, you have to build an author platform first. If you don't have an author platform, we can't help you. Because they don't feel like you're going to pull in enough people. They're not going to feel like you're going to build those relationships. Not always good to be reclusive, and I know a lot of writers are reclusive. We want to sit in our houses, not interact with anybody, and just sit there and write books. But there's also time too to take the time out to promote your books, get them out there to people. Not just keep banging out 1,000 books and keep self-publishing them over and over again, because you're going to have 1,000 books and none of them are going to sell. You just basically did all that work and effort for nothing. So that's just something to think about.
you all are gonna have your own.
So think about it.
You're standing in them.
Oh, man.
So you guys, let
All
us
right.
know who do you think.
So
is
number
gonna win.
5 on this list is you control your objective. So I'm actually not reading off of these. I'm reading the. What I'm doing is I'm reading the thing, and I'm giving my own interpretation of it. So,
Okay.
because like I said, I've experienced a lot of this, so I know. So number 5. The fifth, plead the fifth. So number 5 is control your objective. So what is your objective? Why are you self-publishing? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make money? I'm not gonna lie, I am.
Okay, so you guys ready?
I've been writing for a very long time. Some writers who are passionate, who are super passionate about writing, which I'm not going to say I'm not. I am very passionate about writing as well too. But some writers will call me a sellout because they're like, you never should write for money. Whoever tells you you should never write for money, they're not going anywhere with their writing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're not going anywhere with it. I understand it to a point to where, yeah, you should write because you love doing it. That should definitely be a thing, because it's gonna feel like work if you're not. And I get it. You know, you want to be passionate about what you're writing, but at the same time too, you don't want to limit yourself to just be a passionate creative writer, because you're not gonna do anything with it. It's literally just going to be a hobby. And I'm going to be honest with you, you're not going to get anywhere with a hobby. At some point, you have to look at this like, you have to look at it like at some point it's a business, it's a job.
You might get disqualified for that.
You want to make sure that when you're writing a book,
can you describe the photo?
and understand, writing a book is very hard work. It's not easy. Trust me, I know. There's times where I've delayed on writing books because I'm like, man, is this right? Is this correct? Is this what I really want in the book? I don't know if this book is going to be good enough.
What is that? I never heard of Jamie's project.
So you have to understand one thing. The thing you have to understand is when you're writing, you have your ideas and everything. You want to do certain things. So like a lot, and maybe you can't get traditionally published and get your story out to people. So maybe your objective is, man, I just want people to read my story. And again, a lot of people reading the story comes with the sales pitch. It comes with actually making money and stuff like that. Sharing your story, people, or it's just something you want to do. Maybe it's not a passion. Maybe it's just something you just want to do as a one-off. And you're just like, man, I've written a couple people who was like, I just want to write one book, and I just want to get it out there. I just want to say I wrote a book. It could just be one book. And a lot of people, go like, that's all I wanted to do was just get a book out to people. So, everyone has a different objective with writing. I don't think there's a wrong objective, and I don't think everybody has their own reasons. I'll never shoot down somebody's idea. Maybe, people say, yeah, I want to write to make money. Okay. You just have to do a little extra work. You have to do some serious marketing. I really talked for a while now. Okay, number 6. I love this one. This is the main reason why I self-published. Number 6 is you control your creative concept. So you don't. So the thing is I know I'm rubbing my eyes a lot. My allergies are making my eyes water. So basically, what this means by you control your creative concept is when you have a book that you've written or you have an idea, you don't have execs coming and telling you like, okay, change this character, take this character out, do this with this character, things like that. When you traditionally published, and I've heard this from a lot of people who have traditionally published, you have no creative freedom. When you sign that contract, what happens With your traditional publisher, what happens, or your publishing house, what ends up happening is they also have creative control over that project. They're designing the cover, they're designing the inside of the book, and they're doing some hard edits. And you don't pay for this stuff. It's all free if you're doing it through a traditional publisher. But the only problem is that it's going based off of what the publisher wants, because these guys are industry experts. So they know, they have an idea of how they want to market your book and how they want your book out there. Again, if they don't even want an entire character in your book, they're like, hey, can you cut this character out your book? Don't do this with this character. Don't do that with that character. The story should be this instead. That's their word over yours. And I've also heard people breaking contracts with traditional publishers because they creatively control that. Well, as an indie author, you have creative control over everything. You control every aspect of your story, and that's what I like, because like when I get ideas in my mind, that's the idea I want to use. And I can actually go in and do my editing and stuff later. So that's the beauty of self-publishing, is you get to control what you write. Okay? So keep that in mind. Thank you. And I just want to read this here. Actually, before I even go to number 7, I also want to, because I actually read this the other night, and I was like, man, that's nice. So it says right here, when you self-publish, you also control who you write for. If you sell via the Amazon Kindle store, you can choose and then tweak your categories and your keywords. You determining your marketing efforts, which is also nice. With 45% of ebook sales going to indie authors, audiences are showing that they respect and want to purchase the ideas of everyone, not just those endorsed by traditional publishers. So that's something to think about. It's a lot. That's a pretty huge percentage. So number 7 is you control your freedom. So that kind of goes in. That's kind of synonymous with the last point. You control your future. So with that, you have freedom over everything you do. You have freedom over your marketing. You have freedom over your ideas. You have freedom over anything that happens. So again, if your stuff fails, if your self-publishing stuff fails, it's because of you. You can't. No traditional publisher could step in and say, hey, you can't do that, because, well, that's in our contract, so therefore you can't do that. There's nobody telling you can't put your book out. So this could be synonymous with all the points I made in this video. But yeah, no one can jump in and tell you can't sell your book like that. You can't market it like this. You don't have control over this. No. You control the destiny of your book and what your book does, and what your ideas are. So I think that is all of them.
Okay, I got a turtle.
Oh, it's a turtle.
So
Look at that.
I feel like this is a basketball.
Now, so after all this, you gotta ask yourself, is this something you want to do? Do you want to traditionally publish, or do you want to self-publish it now? Because there's some downfalls to this as well too. Of course, the downfalls are, you have to market yourself. So it costs more money. Whereas with a traditional publisher, they pay for a good majority of your marketing, your editing, everything. You have to pay for everything you want to do with your book design, editor, everything. You have to pay out of pocket for that. what's another thing too? Trying to basically there are definitely downfalls, but again, there's no perfect way of traditional publishing. There's no perfect way of self-publishing. So I will go ahead and end the video here. So I kind of gave you courses here. So I mean, if you want to, again, you definitely check it out. I will make more videos, like I said. There would be definitely more videos on traditional publishing. I definitely want to do a traditional publishing video, and then I also want to do the pros and cons of both of them. So these are just pretty much the pros for traditional publishing, self-publishing. So if you definitely like what you see, definitely give comments. Let me know what you thought about my video. Again, I do apologize for the granddaughter. Whenever I do videos, she wants to sit on my lap and stuff. So and kind of involve herself. So I definitely appreciate it. Definitely follow me. I'll kind of put links and stuff. This will be posted on YouTube via YouTube as well too. So like, comment, subscribe on that as well if you'd like to. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.